Hello, hello, and welcome once again to another Battletech animated series commentary brought to you by Arbitration Studios. I'm JP Arbiter.
I'm Mrs. Arbiter.
And today we are going to be chatting over Battletech, the animated series, Episode 4, Retribution. This is actually one of my favorite episodes of the series. In fact, like the next 3 or 4 episodes really are where, for all the times that the show failed in certain ways, the next 3 episodes are the great successes. They show how clan warriors interact with each other, how they look at the inner sphere at large. The strikers experience their first and really only, at least until the very end, major loss. And here's the jump ship Kwaidan, and they're still trying to reach in from a jump point to the planet's surface, which is going to be several hours, if not days, worth of travel. All right, 2 simultaneous, a success and a failure in terms of battle mech egress in the field. Right now, we're seeing the success with the chain ladder. Wait for the failure. And the random Star League Order of the Star medal.
Why would you actually wear that?
It's a family heirloom. It's important to him. You know, don't you have heirloom jewelry or something?
True, but I usually keep it in safe spots.
I did love, by the way, the size difference you could tell with the Elemental casually holding up Zero.
Yes, that was actually a very good thing.
So, how did that fighter get into a mine shaft?
That is a good question.
I mean, I'm not questioning that they couldn't be big enough to fit the fighter, because this mine shaft is big enough for agromechs, but how did it get in there in the first place? Did they land it and, like, have a mech haul it with cables or something?
Pretty much.
The pacing in this episode is keeping up really well, too. It's one thing after another.
And she's gonna hear with the cockpit down?
With the cockpit down and eventually her engines roaring as she taxis out of the mine shaft somehow.
Yeah.
Let's also remember, most aerospace fighters, even inner sphere ones, which use a lot of fuel bunkerage, don't have enough fuel to make it to a drop point.
Yeah.
So... And there's the elemental fail, and where did that escalator come from? The infamous...
How big is that cockpit?
Vulture butt escalator.
So it's a buscalator?
Buttscalator?
Buscalator.
I prefer buttscalator, but anyway.
An elemental should be a lot...
bigger.
Yeah. Why does it look like the elemental has a cooling vest on?
I don't know what that backpack and the cables reaching down in front are supposed to be. I really don't.
It makes me think of what I think of as a cooling vest. Granted, I think of Mech Warriors as wearing...
I gotta interrupt you right here. What I was talking about with clan warriors interacting with each other. The Quiaf, the Queen Egg questions of protocol. Proper interjection by a third party. How they treat the young versus the old.
And I have to interrupt you. Okay. So someone's telling you, I'm not sure this is a merchant vessel. And you're saying, I gave an order. No, I'm not listening to you.
You're not important enough. And there's Malthus's first mistake.
Yeah, on top of taking off Christian Redmond boot. But, well, that is what it is, I suppose.
So, even at maximum velocity, once they cut out acceleration and hope that drift just takes her in the right direction, several days had to have passed for that fighter to get to the jump point.
Yeah, the time lapse you don't really see.
And that's the big pacing fail of the episode for all of the good that this does. So, this is like the second, or no, this is the first of two different mechs that the Romulus militia commander pilots. First, he's in a Mauler, which, how did they get a Mauler? But, and then later on, he's going to be in a Wolfhound.
Salvage rights?
Well, yeah, most FedCom Maulers were salvaged from the Combine.
Ah, Toads. We don't have time for you. We're going to go this way and pretend you're not going to sneak up on us very quickly.
Actually, it's more like, holy crap, Toads, we can't fight them! Even though both of you have some pretty heavy-duty lasers and could easily squash an elemental point.
But they can't chance the damage because they don't have enough to repair. So...
Good point.
Stare at me like some mute animal. Why do you refuse to cooperate? You should be proud to serve as my bondsman, yes?
Respond, Freehold.
Your bond cord is a symbol of your servitude. It will remain...
Bond cord you can't see. Again, more showing of clan culture. Good. Episode success so far.
And dressing down his bondsman, as if his bondsman has any clue what clan protocol is.
But also dressing down his bondsman for being defiant. It is kind of funny because in the U.S. military, at least, aren't they trained to give up the Big Four, which is basically name, rank, serial number, and date of birth?
I don't know. You'd have to ask someone who is in the military for that, which isn't either of us.
And here's where Franklin Sakamoto becomes Jackie Chan. Speaking of which,
and would there actually be like a trapdoor in those places?
That wasn't
trucks?
A trap door. He pried open flooring.
They make it look like a trap door, though. I guess it's just a error in the...
Actually, it's not an error.
It's
an old
drawn.
animation trick. You ever watch old Looney Tunes and a part that is going to move is distinctly lightly colored compared to the rest?
And randomly the windows get rolled down because the plot demands it.
There's a lot on this. And more elementals. Well, they have some ammo. Either that or they're popping training rounds and...
Pretty much.
Because, yeah, that Centurion is doing jack squat. Oh, wait, no, it's running.
Yeah.
I think this is...
You do see a good
I think this is the last episode where we see night combat or combat in near total darkness. Which is a good thing, because it just was not working out. Yeah, that was... you can see it because they had to illuminate the CG models with a wireframe along the borders.
Yeah. This looks more like rooms than tunnels.
Well, it is a mine shaft, so it would be carved out kind of neatly.
Very true.
And, well,
Boom.
That elemental's dead.
At least one, if not more. So, ammo versus parts.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I think that I hate to see mech parts go to waste as a throwback to the old Succession Wars ideal, that fake Mad Max feel that some people like to cling to.
Yep.
And the franchise was a decade old when this show came to be, so it's reasonable to see to still have that Mad Max feel around. Frankie, I don't like your smile.
I don't think anyone likes his smile. Wait.
Let's contemplate this fail. Breach loading missiles directly into the tubes, one after another. That certainly doesn't pose a detonation risk. And then also loading autocannon shells where the lasers are. In the Mauler.
Yeah. Boom. Anybody?
Mech maintenance failure 101.
Yeah, you'd think they'd know the difference. And honestly, do the neural helmets have to be that weird? I swear they're all different.
Well, they are all different. You know, some Hawkins is red, and I think that's supposed to be a throwback to a service in the Sky Guard who paint their mechs red. Val's and Adam Steiner's weren't that odd from each other. And then, of course, the Clanners, because all clan warriors have EI implants, even though they don't.
That's Ciro's Wolfhound. I don't see any escape pod wreckage.
I know what you're thinking. Believe me, Major. Nobody could have survived that. Incoming! I can't see their faces, but I know they're not happy.
Oh, yay, more toads. Squish.
But they don't need neural helmets if they have EI implants. So, hey, pointless flip for awesome.
Alright, why am I thinking of synchronized swimming the second I see them flying up at the same time?
Why is the Centurion's knees backcannoned? Alright, well, no one said initiate enhanced imaging. It just sort of happened, so no gag?
No gag.
Okay.
No announcement, no gag.
Shoot the head, shoot the head! 3, 6,
So,
7,
I guess...
9, armor's gone.
So, I'm assuming that's what happens when you get a headshot?
What do you mean? The spider
Yes.
webbed...
Yes.
I don't know. Alright, this is actually a really cool sequence, how they doffed, like, most of the armor, so it's underlay and, leg and arm coverings. I dug that. I don't know what most people think, but I thought that was kind of cool.
Okay, now where's the ammo going again?
That's not ammo so much as a whole bunch of, like, anti-battle mech landmines and demolition charges and crap.
Okay, but where is it being held?
In a net, unsecured, with no padding.
Yes.
Possibly primed or so old that it's sweating nitroglycerin.
Yes.
And looped over the barrel of a medium laser.
You need more rope.
And by the way, he just padded a large canister of explosives.
Well, everyone has their pets. Hey, congratulations, you found the on switch. Now wait, random head?
Lieutenant Spectre, being a ghostly hologram.
Ha ha ha. In a very, very large cockpit.
How the hell? So now that fighter is making a trip there and a trip back in minutes. This aerospace fighter is breaking light speed.
Is this Battletech or Star Trek?
Yes.
I thought they were supposed to be tiny.
Cockpits? Yeah.
Okay, and would they seriously have the slogan to start up equipment right there?
Last episode I said don't get used to those Star League mechs. That would be the last time you see it. I need to make a correction. This will be the last time you see it. And Franco wasn't reading off of a plaque or anything. He just saw a picture of Kerensky. So
True. It would make sense there'd be a picture of Kerensky in the mix.
Alright. So, again, all clanners have EI implants, even militia security forces. Drop off the kids at the pool, drive by like a bat out of hell. Even though he dropped off his crew right there in front of them.
I can't
And now
tell
he
if it
goes
had
into
gas or
reverse.
not. Those dials goof me up. Run! Run!
Ah, chaos. hey, finally the Centurion fires his autocannon. And the first time they're referred to as toads.
Yes, indeed. Which keeps it quite amusing.
Oh, don't complain, Val.
So where are the missiles they were loading?
They only have... Oh, and the... Well, Adam fired at least 2 volleys.
Breech-loaded volleys. Well...
Whee! Dunk.
And the toads can't grab on.
No!
No! But take me with you!
Come back, my friend. And no more axe for you.
Axe go boom.
We are going so fast we may have traveled back in time now.
And this is where I find it very interesting with Christian Redman. Okay, so a reassignment is basically
A demotion.
a demotion for a clanner. And with the ideology of Zelbrungen, that is most definitely an insult.
Well, she wishes to claim honor for a previous slight, I guess. And the elementals are down to just those 2. So, relief probably would have been welcome.
Yes, that is true. If she wasn't going off the reservation.
Oh, Redmond doesn't go nearly off the reservation that Malthus does.
Very true, but Redmond still defies orders.
And it only took 2 episodes for Val to lose his Centurion.
Wow. Wait, how is a human able to hold on to a mech better than a toad?
Maintenance grips.
Okay, I could see that. He was doing maintenance previously.
So, or, just holding on for dear life.
Which is probably the case, because something that tall. But was the scale accurate?
Actually, I think that was pretty accurate. Probably the most accurate scale has been this episode.
With how much it's mouthed up?
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't go boom when they fell. Why?
Because explosives are fun.
Because the plot demanded it.
Yep. Yeah, actually, I think that is fairly in scale. All right, and they went from 2 elementals back to 4.
Wait, where did the... Well, there must have been 2 stars floating around.
Okay, did a Banshee fighter with 2 medium lasers as sole armament and no targeting system just blow up a dropship?
Yes.
Wow.
Plot.
Plot demanded it. It was the explosives, but yeah, I mean, hell.
But still, it was the fact that those were enough to actually breach past
And hey, there's
armor.
that truck, safe and sound.
It's a ghost. It's a ghost truck.
Hell.
Okay, so it's clan prerogative that you're going to destroy one area with civilians.
Actually, they said they made a point to mention that the city was evacuated.
Oh, okay. But they
But-
still destroyed a city that could have possibly been theirs to rule.
It was supposed to be because I don't know why, but they didn't want to show Turtle Bay itself, but they wanted to show something like the destruction of Turtle Bay
Okay.
from the Blood of Kerensky trilogy.
Okay, and you can't exactly violate copyrights that much.
Well, it wasn't violating copyrights. It was just bombarding Turtle Bay was a slaughter. This is a demonstration, and they went out of their way to show how it wasn't slaughtering civilians, just rampant destruction of property.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the show ends with Adam Steiner calling Nikolai Malthus out to the woodshed. So, yeah, again, one of my favorite episodes and one of the most well-paced episodes, so long as you ignore the near faster than light travel of the aerospace fighter.
And other things.
So with that, we will be leaving you be. Next will be episode 5. We'll see you then.